All right, so we just watched Spider-Man. All right, wait one sec. Where's the camera? Right here, right? What's up, guys? So we just watched Spider-Man Homecoming, and wow, it was really good.
Really fun.
Fun?
Really fun.
What were
adventure.
your thoughts? Why do you think it was a good movie?
I think, well, one, it was very unique, and Marvel always does things well, and the whole ride was just, I wasn't expecting it to be so good. I really liked it.
Yeah. I think right off the bat, let's just do like a spoiler review.
A spoiler review?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do, first spoiler-free review. Like, it's a really fun movie. It's kind of a good, I think what makes a good comic book I think what makes a good comic book movie is when it's not obviously a comic book movie. When its core
That's a good point,
is
yeah.
something like Logan is like a almost like a Western, right? And then this movie is it's just a coming of age teen drama. It's about a kid trying to find his place in high school, trying to get through high school, and the Spider-Man aspect of his life is almost like an afterthought. It's just his after-school activity, and of course it's a little bit more intense, but it's not that much different because he's still a kid and he's dealing with all of these this transition into adulthood where he thinks he can do all these things, but at the end of the day he's still a kid, and that's still relatable to people that are in high school and trying to reach farther than their hands have grown yet.
Yeah, and it's always there's interjected a bunch of really funny scenes.
Yeah. All right. So now we're just gonna go straight to spoilers. So like in the very beginning, you said something funny earlier. You thought that it wasn't gonna be good. Why did you?
I thought. Well, it starts out right with a bunch of kind of amateurish film shots of him doing using a selfie camera and him just filming himself. And I thought the whole movie was gonna be that style, like similar to like those war movies where it's just one style camera moving around.
You thought it was going to be shaking cam.
I thought it was going to be shaking cam
like
the
Blair
whole
Witch
time.
Project.
Yeah, exactly. I was
That'd
like,
be
oh my
an
gosh.
interesting Spider-Man
That coupled alongside of his like his high pitched adolescent voice, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't think I can make it.
Yeah.
But then obviously it transitions out of that.
When did you think like, oh, okay, this is going to be like a good movie? Because in the beginning you're kind of worried.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of scenes, but the one scene that I remember was the high school. There's a scene where the high school news team is broadcasting on TV, and it's hilarious. The way they, I guess, capture the awkwardness, or like the amateurness of a high school film is really good. Very relatable.
Yeah, that scene.
Because you see those
really
things
funny.
at your own high school.
Yeah, it's kind of like this where they're trying to talk and it's just like these awkward pauses and they don't know like how to look, and it's like very high school thing.
Yeah. Really fun.
And I think they captured like what makes this film good is it captures high school really well.
Yeah.
Like it has all these small moments that you can definitely relate to when you're in high school, and a lot of it's having to do with awkwardness, from that news scene to like how the characters interact to like the little things they say.
And at the same time there are intense moments, surprising moments. There's moments that make you feel sad and worried and anxious. So it's like the whole spectrum of feelings.
I think this movie is like a really good bang for your buck because you kind of experience every type of emotion.
Because in some ways you're always rooting. Well, for me, I'm always rooting for the superhero, right? And there's times in this movie where I didn't know. Well, I could relate to the villain, or I could see where the villain was coming from. So it's like, oh, so it's not the villain. I don't know. It humanizes the villain.
I think the villain is very well written.
Very well acted too.
But I actually thought I didn't relate to him quite as much. I thought he was like pretty scary. I thought he was really effective. Like Michael Keaton is such a good actor. Like he intimidated me. Like whenever I saw scenes with them, I felt like I was on edge too. Cause like as much as he is kind of humanized, he is still really ruthless, and he's also scary because like he's like a boss, like a competent boss, and he's like trying to manage a lot of things, and you can tell that he's always like this close to kind of snapping.
Yeah.
but he's still kind of holding it together, which it just puts me on edge to see like a guy trying to manage his family, manage his group, and like keep trying to get this thing and keep getting foiled. So you can feel that tension boiling.
Yeah.
And then you're scared for Spider-Man. You're scared for people around him. Yeah.
That scene in the car when he was slowly figuring out who Peter Parker was, and you could see that glimmer in his eye. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen?
Such a good actor.
What's going to happen?
Oh my god. And then the camera would change into these super close-ups, and you just see every crease on his face.
Yeah, that was great camera work.
Yeah, and he's a
work.
fucking amazing actor. Amazing actor with that amazing camera work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like everything they were talking about in that scene was so good because it was like.
What were they talking about?
No, just like every dialogue had dual meanings. That's like great dialogue. Like,
Oh,
the first thing he said when he got in the car was, "What are you gonna do, Peter?"
Oh,
right, and then it's when you get older. But clearly it was like, "What are you gonna do?" And every line he said was double meaning.
That was before he had figured out
exactly. But I'm saying it was written like that so that it's double meaning. And then everything he said later when his daughter was in the car was both at Peter and at Spider-Man and at us. And it was like, that's when you have like a great script. Is like when the line you say isn't just it's one meaning, when it's a different meaning to everybody, when there's multiple layers. I mean, this is like a Marvel film. Like it didn't have to be written this well, but it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's
and
really
your heart's beating the entire time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? It's like a thriller.
Yeah, parts of it definitely very thrillery.
It's like a superhero movie that has a bunch of different genres in it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's
drama, comedy.
Yeah, it's very funny. It's like, I mean, it's just a movie done very well. It's
Marvel
what Marvel
always
does.
It's
what Marvel does really well. Yeah. I think this is probably one of its strongest genres.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, sorry, not genres, but strongest films.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
I agree. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Well, Wonder Woman wasn't Marvel, but I liked it a lot better than Wonder Woman.
Yeah. I think...
I thought it was... Wonder Woman's very, in my opinion, very predictable.
Sure. Yeah.
This was... Well, I guess if we're spoiling, this was unpredictable. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really satisfying movie. I think it was like just the right... It was just the right length. It kind of hits all the spots you want it to, like emotionally. One thing it does really well too is that its story is very simple. It's very concise and focused. Like even though it's doing all this genre stuff, it's funny, there's love, there's comedy, there's thriller moments, there's horror moments. At its core, it's just every scene is about Peter Parker trying to learn that it's okay to be a kid, you know?
Yeah. We've never had a kid superhero like this.
Yeah, this is...
We've had a Kick-Ass, but that's different.
Yeah, that's like... Yeah, that's different.
Pilgrim,
that's violent. But actually, this was pretty similar to Kick-Ass because he is just, like, he's doing stuff that have consequences. Like, people are getting hurt because of him, basically. Like, well, not directly. We don't see it happen, but we can say that...
People got hurt.
He's causing a lot of damage because he thinks he's better or more mature than he is because he's just a 15-year-old. Yeah. And like, I think they
did that really well.
They did that really well. Like that theme was in every single scene. Like at no point did they try to really dilute it by like reaching too far and say other things. Like that is at its core. And I mean, I say this so many times in all my reviews, but I think a good movie has a really solid and concise theme that you can like dilute down or you can condense down into one sentence. And this is about, you know, coming of age. And this is why this film is so strong. You know, it's not trying to impress you with its, you know, flashy action scenes. It's not trying to hook you in with just bells and whistles. It has like a heart, it has a message, and it's very clear.
And Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, Marissa Tomei, she's so hot. They try to give her those granny glasses.
Yeah, she's so hot.
Dude, that just makes her hotter, man. Like,
I actually thought she was not as hot, but after everyone in the movie was like, oh, she's so hot. Yeah. Or the things that they said were pushing her up. I was like, oh, I guess she is kind of
Yeah,
hot.
yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
That's another thing. This movie is super self-aware, but not in like a cheesy and over-dramatic way. Like its self-awareness is just right, and it's always very funny.
Yeah.
Like how everybody in the movie acknowledges Marissa Tomei is hot, and then by doing that, we as the audience are like more.
Yeah.
We believe this world because it was like, oh, it's like our world. Like, obviously she's hot. Like, it's so frustrating to see movies when everybody's so hot, but nobody really acknowledges it.
Yeah.
Or like the hot girl is a nerd. But in this movie, you have a super hot aunt, like one of the hottest aunts ever. So everybody can see that.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh shit, this is like a real world. Like people know she's hot. This isn't just a movie.
Isn't Aunt May like the old woman in the Tobey Maguire ones?
Yeah, in the
Okay,
original
okay.
comic, she's pretty old.
She's old, right?
Yeah.
So this
I
was like a spin off. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because at first, when the first scene when Tony Stark
Yeah.
like asks if she's wearing something skimpy, I was like, that's kind of gross, right?
Oh, because you thought she was old?
I thought she was old.
Oh,
I was like,
no.
okay.
And then when the sandwich guy, or then by that time you knew she was hot.
By that time,
Oh, okay.
Oh no! Did I?
Maybe.
I can't remember.
I thought her granny glasses were hilarious though, as if like we're trying to convince me she's not.
She was wearing a tight pencil
Yeah.
skirt.
Oh my God, her skirt, like her clothes could not be any better fitting, as they should be.
I've seen.
Yeah.
A lot of good actors.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of good actors. Oh yeah. Freaking Childish Gambino was in it.
Childish Gambino.
Yeah. Donald Glover.
Wow,
Another interesting
completely
part.
forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, there's kind of like a big twist at the end with the identities
Huge
of one of
twist.
the characters.
It was a jaw-dropping twist, I think.
Are we talking about the same one?
Oh, the both of them? Well,
Which
both
one?
of them.
Oh yeah, two twists. Yeah, two twists.
I was talking about the when he opens the door.
Yeah.
was like-
Yeah. Well, we already talked about when they're in the car, but yeah, basically right before that scene, when he when he's
meeting with the girl the
what's her name?
I forgot.
I forget.
The
Chris?
black girl for
Liz.
Liz's when she's
father.
meeting Liz
His crush.
for homecoming.
Yeah.
He opens the door, but bam,
Dude.
and you feel it.
Yeah,
It's like,
you could feel it in the audience. The whole audience was like, "Oh!" I went like, "Oh!" for like 2 minutes. I was like, "Oh!" I was just like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, because you see all the events that led up to that,
Yeah,
and then you can only imagine how a kid would react.
yeah.
You know?
And his reaction was
It's really
exactly
funny.
it. He was just freaked out. And he has to like meet. It's like. It's awesome because like if you're meeting your girlfriend's dad, you would be scared anyways.
Yeah, that's.
But now your girlfriend's
they
dad is
played
like
on
this
that real
murderer,
well.
so it's like again, it's those multiple layers. That's so good.
Yeah.
That's such like that. If you can do that in the movie, then like that's when your audience is having really a lot of fun because you're right there with the character,
Yeah.
and you can participate in all of the things he's feeling.
Yeah. You feel what? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
and
feel
the
very-
moment you cut to the scenes of his face, like you get it.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm right there with you, dude. Like, holy shit. Yeah. And then there's the other twist at the end, the identity
Yeah.
of that one of the nerdy girls who was just talking shit randomly, like in and out. But it turns out I think her name was like Michelle. But then
yeah.
it turns out she's like, oh, people call me MJ. So
Ooh.
she's Mary Jane, but her name's Michelle. That's kind of big. And then they had that last scene of her looking at him like a slightly
yeah.
longing
Yeah,
way
yeah.
to like set that shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Spider-Man 2
Yeah, dude.
or whatever. Who directed this one?
I don't know. John White's Mark Webb? I don't know. I forget.
Dude, I will say this though. I feel like the people we watched it with
Yeah.
weren't laughing at the same stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't feel the same. Like the parts I thought were funny,
Oh.
I didn't. I only heard you laughing.
Oh, yeah, I was laughing a lot.
And then, but the parts that
I was
I
enjoying
didn't think were
myself.
funny,
Yeah.
I think I heard a lot of laughter. So I'm like,
Yeah,
oh. It's
parts
like
of it.
they're different humor things in the movie that I think appeal to different people. So.
I think some of the people were like laughing at like the science and the nerdy jokes, and I was laughing at just like the awkward facial
Yeah.
expressions more. There's still Yeah, because I remember the people behind us were laughing at like his T-shirts or like the little like nuggets of like references and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
But I would just be laughing at facial expressions. Yeah.
I just remember I was feeling, oh, how come no one else is laughing? That was funny. But,
Yeah. Yeah. So overall, I guess, yeah, Spider-Man was
that was fun.
really good.
Yeah,
it was really
good.
fun. What did you think of the action scenes? We didn't even see. We're not even talking about the action scenes.
Yeah,
actually. That's kind of weird, right?
Wow,
that means
the action was amazing.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even as
Exhilarating.
good as the drama and the characters and yeah.
That's probably why I think it's one of my favorite superhero movies.
Yeah. And a lot of the stuff in the trailers, like, it actually isn't in this film, which I guess is good. Like, they kind of throw you off. So this film actually was very surprising. And then based on watching the trailer, you would think that we would see Iron Man a lot more, because Iron Man is all over the trailer.
I remember seeing the only scene I remember. Actually, the scene in the trailer was the one with him in the car.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, you're not going to be one of us. And things like that. But then, that was the only one, right?
Yeah, he was only in a couple of scenes, and
But it felt like more.
But I think, like, that's good. Like, this is a standalone movie that they did really well. I don't think they try to tie it into like other movies too much. And Tony Stark was like in just the right amount to kind of guide him or scold him when he needed to be. But that's it. He's like pretty hands off. Spider-Man goes on this journey essentially by himself.
Yeah.
Like, this is a standalone, contained story.
I actually felt like Iron Man was gonna come swooping in more than he actually did. I was like,
same.
oh, this would be I was expecting in certain scenes for Iron Man to be like coming in and doing his thing, but I think
so when he was trapped under the rubble.
Yeah.
That was also an amazing scene.
Or when the villain was holding him up with before he saw the crate of goodies.
Oh, you thought he was gonna save him there?
I thought he was gonna save him there. I thought a lot of times Iron Man was gonna come in, but they didn't. So he did it
for sure.
Yeah,
this is Spider-Man's movie, which is good. So when he was on top of the monument, when he was scared of heights, I thought that was a really nice touch.
Yeah,
he's just a kid. He doesn't really know what he's doing. Like, he's scared, and then at the very end, when he's trapped under the rubble, when he's legitimately like panicking,
you feel it.
You feel it. You feel like,
it.
dude, like this kid. This is a 15-year-old kid, and he thinks like he's gonna die, and you could see just panic and pure fear in his eyes.
Yeah.
But in that moment, he like finally summons the strength, and that's like the climax or culmination of the whole movie, where like he's needs to find the strength to like be a man, but also without the suit. Yeah, he needs to be
find his own identity.
Find his own identity, coming of age. But then at the very end, he decides that he doesn't want to be an adventurer.
Yeah. That threw me off, actually.
Yeah.
I thought that suit looked sick.
It did look pretty sick.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, it did look pretty sick. And it was like funny when he's like, "Oh, it's just a test, right? There's no reporters under there." Yeah.
Tony Stark. There's always those type of scenes with Tony, like the sarcastic scenes.
Yeah,
so it's like he's so crazy, such a genius that it works really well.
Yeah. I mean, Tony is always so on point. Yeah. He's so charismatic. Every scene he's in.
Charismatic, yeah.
Every scene he's in, he's just like funny and like, witty, and then.
Yeah.
And then Happy actually had a pretty big role. I didn't know Happy was like kind of his main babysitter. The bodyguard.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
He had an okay role.
Like, it was pretty big. Bigger than I thought. It's like bigger than any other movie he's been in.
Oh,
what he's in all the Iron Man movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's in
okay.
He's always Tony Stark's
That's right,
bodyguard.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good adventure.
Great movie.
Yeah.
So what would you give it? A, B, C, D, E.
A.
Do minuses, pluses.
For movie, I'll give it an A+.
Wow, A+.
I enjoyed it a lot.
I would give it a solid A. I guess. Do you have any negatives to say about the film?
I was trying to think of it earlier. I couldn't. Nothing immediately jumped out, besides the fact that it felt like in the beginning there were a lot of corny jokes. Like it was over. Like usually, 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But then there was over and over and over and over again. But I think you needed that in order to paint that picture of how much of a kid Spider-Man is. You know?
Yeah. Part of being a kid is like
Yeah.
corny jokes.
Corny jokes, awkwardness. There was a lot of awkwardness, a lot of like high school jokes.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
at first I was like, I don't know if I can take a whole movie of this.
Yeah.
But then after you see the whole thing, it's like, oh, you realize you need that type. You needed all those jokes and needed that setup in order for you to feel what a kid feels again.
Yeah.
Because we all went through that.
Exactly.
Right? We all went through.
It sets the tone
Exactly.
in the beginning.
Yeah.
And also, I would say also in the beginning, like, nothing really shoots out to you that this is going to be like an amazing movie. But yeah, it turns out it was a really, really amazing movie.
I think it also helps that we went in without knowing anything about the movie.
Yeah.
I think this movie could easily be spoiled. It could very easily be spoiled.
Yeah, I would. If we just spoiled everything and you haven't watched it, I would watch this ASAP because people are gonna be posting about it and shit. So I would. But again, like, I think the trailers are really well done because even though I watched all the trailers, like, I was still very much surprised by this film. And
Nice.
also because stuff in the trailers are not in the film, which is, you know what, I like being lied to like that because I think when you walk into a theater without knowing anything, I think that's how movies are meant to be seen. So you can be taken for the full ride with no expectations because that'll mess up the journey. Yeah.
Feel what you want the directors to want you to feel.
Yeah, because like if you know anything, because if you come into a movie blind, then you are like the character who doesn't know what's coming. You can put yourself in their shoes more. Whereas if you know anything that's coming, anything at all, then you basically have like a psychic premonition, and then you can't really be present with the character as he's discovering stuff.
Yeah. That's why I'm actually. When did you watch the trailers?
I mean, I've watched them a bunch of times.
Oh, okay.
Just on YouTube or in movie theaters.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I saw the trailer in the movie theater.
Yeah.
A while ago.
Okay.
And then I completely forgot, except for I just knew Iron Man was in it.
Yeah.
And then that was awesome because coming into this movie without knowing anything. Took me along for a great ride.
Yeah. I mean, no, same. Again, I'm saying, like, I watched the trailers a bunch of times and I was still completely.
I might go home and watch the trailers. Now I want to know what they're like.
I mean, I want to get like hyped, you know. Yeah, so I would give this an A. I don't really have any issues with it. It's a really solid movie. I mean, it's still semi predictable-ish because it's a superhero movie. That's like the only flaw, but it's not really a flaw when you do a movie this well. Yeah, again, Marvel is just like, they've got their shit down. Even their worst movies are still like good movies with like a focused story.
I don't think this was one of their worst movies, right?
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I said even when Marvel makes a bad movie, it's generally still pretty good.
What was okay?
Like their less popular movies like Thor or like Ant-Man or like even like Thor 2, like at least they're still solid movies. And then this movie is like really well done. It's like it has that fun tone with the focus theme.
Yeah.
Like very, very well done. And I saw that it had a bunch of writers, like 5 or 6 writers, and like props to them for writing something so focused with that many cooks in the kitchen. Yeah, so I would highly recommend this. Probably one of Marvel's strongest entries yet.
They just keep getting better.
I think so. I don't know if they can make it better or funner than this, and I don't think there's going to be any other movie quite like this because Spider-Man right now is the only high school kid. Mm-hmm. So this is definitely a very special movie. Like all the other movies could be really cool, like Black Panther, and like what else is coming? Mr. Marvel, Mrs. Marvel or something. Like those are cool, but like, you know, those are adults, so that's like a different tone.
The kid aspect of this movie really hit home. Yeah,
it kind of reminded me of like a Tom Cruise like risky business type movie where it's like, oh, the adults are gone for the day, so I'm just gonna, you know, run a whorehouse, but I'm gonna be Spider-Man. But it's the same kind of, I keep repeating myself now, but yeah, okay, that's all I got. Amazing movie, so much fun.
It's very fun.
Highly recommend. If you've seen this film, let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.